Hi guys, it's Tara again, and I am so excited that you have joined me this time for some more nutritional tidbits about your pet's nutrition. It is the 4th of July. It is my all-time favorite holiday, so I am super festive and super excited to shoot this video. I absolutely just love this country, and so this holiday really just holds a place in my heart, and so I'm excited to be giving you this video on this day. I think this is going to be kind of the last segment of this helping your pet lose weight series, and so it's really important, if you haven't already, to subscribe to my channel so that you come back each week. I try and put these out each week. I think this one's been a little bit longer than a week, so sorry about that. But make sure that you come back and you subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any more of the tidbits for your pet's nutrition. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about what kind of causes our pets to be overweight and a couple different things that we can do to help that. There's all these different variables that can kind of add up to help our pets gain weight. Everything from their genetics, overeating, obviously. I know a lot of households really like to do the free choice feeding, where they basically just fill up the bowl, they let the animal feed until it's empty, and then they fill it back up and fill it back up and just kind of do it that way. And very few pets will actually regulate themselves very well on that kind of feeding method. And so I've always been a real stickler on people making sure that they feed a certain amount in the morning, certain amount at night, or if it works better for your household, to just make sure you just feed them once a day, specific amount that is tailored for their ideal weight. Their lack of activity can definitely play into that. Their metabolism, genetics, breed, whether they are spayed or neutered, will definitely make a difference. Some diseases can also cause them to have different weight issues. So there's a lot of different variables that go into whether our pets are overweight or not. When we're trying to help them lose weight, it's really important that everybody in the household is on the same page. We don't want 3 people in the household making sure that they're not feeding treats, they're feeding in the appropriate amount, and then we've got, grandma, grandpa, sister, brother, whatever over here sneaking the dog or cat food because they feel bad for it. So make sure everyone's on the same page. You know what your goals are, you know kind of what the rules are going to be in place. So that's really important. We always want to feed them for what we want them to weigh. Every single bag of dog and cat food has a recommendation of how much your pet should eat. It's important when you're looking at that amount to make sure that you're not feeding them for what they weigh right now, but you're actually feeding them for what we want them to weigh. So that's really important to look at as well. Another thing that I think just visually kind of throws us off is the whole concept of we need to make sure that we are feeding the pet, we're not feeding the bowl. So if you have a little tiny Chihuahua dog and you've got this big bowl that holds 2 cups of food, and you should really only be feeding it 1/4 of a cup in the morning and night, you're going to feel bad when you've got this big huge bowl and you're feeding it such a small portion. So sometimes it's better to just go ahead and get the appropriate amount of food in a bowl, see what that looks like, and then kind of get a bowl that fits that amount so you don't feel as bad. If it is feasible for your family to feed a couple of times throughout the day rather than 1 or 2 big meals, this is going to help your pet feel fuller throughout the day. So if that's feasible, and while we're trying to get them to lose weight, sometimes that can be really beneficial in making them feel fuller throughout the day. And it also kind of offsets their metabolism. It does something different with their metabolism, and so it kind of helps rev that up a little bit as well. It's really important to remember when we're looking at these numbers on the scale that healthy weight loss, just like for humans, for our pets, it's going to be 1 to 2% a week. So especially in cats, if you're going in and you're weighing every other week or you're weighing them once a month, it's really important to not get discouraged if you go in there and you see that they've lost 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 pounds, because if you do the math and figure out exactly what percentage that is, it actually adds up to be a lot more than it looks like. So little progress is totally okay, and as long as we're going in the right direction, that's great. Cats also really benefit from a high protein, low carb diet. That is really essential in getting cats' metabolisms to kind of alter a little bit and help rev it up. So if you have a cat that's overweight, that's really important to remember. Insoluble fiber is going to kind of be our best friend when we're trying to get these pets to lose weight. And what we're looking at is like wheat brands, cellulose, green beans are great. I tell a lot of clients to add green beans, especially into their dog's diet. They are full of what's called insoluble fiber. So it's going to create this intestinal bulk, or it's going to make them feel fuller with fewer calories. So that's really important to look for in these pet foods, these diet foods, prescription diet foods, to help them lose weight and not feel like they're starving all the time. Super important to always remember that all pet foods are not created equal. And if the pet food that you're feeding right now does not do feeding trials, these companies don't actually know the amount of calories in versus calories out. So they don't actually know what the calorie content is of their food. They have a really good guesstimate and they can come up with a really good number for that, but they don't know what the actual number is. And so sometimes we're trying to get them to lose weight. The vet tells you they should be eating X amount of calories. You go home, you're feeding that off the bag, and they're still just not losing weight. It's really important to look at that and see if they're actually testing those foods, because it might be a case where they don't know the appropriate amount of the calories in that food, and so what's on the bag is an incorrect number. So once again, please remember that all pet foods are not created equal. It's important to be feeding one that does do feeding trials. And as always, make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of these nutritional tidbits for your pet, and make sure you come back next week.